Morning and welcome to this week's vlog. I'm in the Peak District because we're doing a preview of some of the new Eroica events that are happening this year in the UK for Eroica Britannia. So this year Eroica Britannia is actually expanding, so we're going to try out some of the routes that they're going to do and preview the event. So right now it's freezing, it's January and the event takes place in June, so that'll be much more fun. But yeah, I've never actually done the event before, but I'm going to try it out. So for those of you who don't know, the Eroica is it's like a classic car rally, but for bikes and vintage kit. So you have to wear like pre-1987 kit and ride a pre-1987 bike in the traditional event, but they're probably going to expand that this year. But one thing to point out though is, I'm sorry, but the stem's still on the bike. There we go, there's the white stem in all its glory. Anyone who's watched a few of these vlogs probably knows now that I spend quite a lot of time up in the Peak District and I love it. It's a great place to ride your bike with hard hills. But this is the Monsell Trail behind me. In true like Strada Bianchi style, the route takes in some off-road sections, so wider tyres are recommended. So I've fitted 28mm Vittoria Corsa control tyres, which also have a bit of retro vibe going on because they're tan sidewalls. Right, let's get to it.
So it was a really good event. I went along. Obviously, we've got Marco here and Nick just behind from Eroica as well.
The case when we're in Baker, but there are a lot more villages close by. Here it's a little bit more sparse.
And then they get to this hub area and they'll be shooting off in loads of different directions. So if you look behind us, you can sort of vaguely see over there there's a cutting. One cutting takes you to the south of the peak, sort of behind those trees over there.
Just riding along the sort of Derbyshire's finest Strada Bianchi right now. It's a little bit loose, a little bit muddy today because it's January and it's been a bit wet, but in the summer, I mean, this is just like, it's just like Tuscany. I can imagine, I can see it, but with dry stone walls. But yeah, it's great. You gotta do a Derby accent.
Right,
Derby.
right.
There's nothing better.
Ducky.
Duck. Me duck.
That's it.
There's nothing better me duck. That view today, that's mega.
It's about as good as it gets in the peak.
It's nice. I love like winter days like this when it's crisp and clear and like it's cold, but it's just really clear. Yeah, you warm. It's not raining. Absolutely loving riding on these trails, and like this is the Monsell Trail we're on now, which is really long. It's an old disused railway line. Just on the Monsell Head Viaduct, which is an iconic shot in the Eroica Britannia. You always see it on all the posters and stuff. So this is the place where they do the iconic hill climb that Malcolm Elliott still has the record for, which is 1 minute 14 seconds off the top of my head. Might have to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it's right. There it is, Chatsworth Hall, which is, you may recognise it as Downton Abbey. Good cafe stop, recommend it. Good selection of cakes and nice food as well. So how long's this climb and how steep is it?
It is about, you've got 2 climbs and they're both about a mile and their average is 14 to 15% and it's on gravel. Yeah, so it's a grippy little number.
Yeah, that would be brutal with a 39 tooth in a ring and a 15 vintage.
Bit of a cliff bar.
So I wanted to explain what Eroica is to those who don't know, because I'm sure some of you won't. So Eroica means heroic in Italian, and it's originally based around an Italian event which happens in Tuscany and rides on the Strada Bianchi white gravel roads around Tuscany and Siena. And many of you will be familiar with the Strada Bianchi race, which is that as well. And Eroica Britannia is an offshoot of that, and what they do is every June they have a cycling festival in the Peak District, which is all based around vintage cycling and wearing sort of vintage clothing and riding a vintage bike. And there's rides you can go on during this weekend, and there's sort of different routes. Some are shorter for like families and beginners, right up to sort of, I think it's an 85-mile route is the longest one. And they take in a mixture of like normal roads and going through Peak District villages, but also going on sort of paths and things like the Monsell Trail, which is so very similar to the Strada Bianchi paths that you get in Tuscany as well. So it's a great event, and it's an event that's not about sort of performance. It's not about racing. That's not really the sort of focus of the event. The event is about getting people together, celebrating cycling, getting more people riding bikes, encouraging people to ride bikes, and just having a great time, really. So now we're going to go ride on some vintage bikes with Eroica as well. So it's going to be my first time riding a vintage bike. I can't wait to try it out, and we're going to be riding on some of the same roads that we did yesterday. But yeah, it should be fun. Can't wait. So I've just finished my riding, doing the previewing the roads from Eroica, and some absolutely fantastic roads, and also the trails, like, you know, I was showing you like the Monsell Trail and stuff. I've walked down it before, but I've never ridden it, and it's amazing, and it's absolutely brilliant for families as well and kids, because you've got these sort of cinder trails, and it's a great introduction for people in a nice, fun, friendly atmosphere. So I'm keen to come back and have a go at the actual event when it's on. It's also great fun riding a vintage bike as well. It wouldn't be fair to say that a modern bike's better than an old bike, or an old bike's better than a new bike. They're just completely different. You know, the brakes don't work as well, but it's great fun, and I like the appeal, and I get it. And I've never ridden a vintage bike before, but the bike I was on was a 1981 Longstaff classic with all sort of vintage components on and stuff, and down tube shifters, and it's great. It's like driving a classic car. You know, there's just something very satisfying about changing gear on one of those old machines, and the sort of clockwork nature of the components, and how it's all mechanical, and how it all just sort of works and clicks together and makes nice sounds. I want to buy an old vintage bike. I think they're cool. Thanks for watching this week's vlog, and I hope you enjoyed it. Eroica Britannia has an important announcement which I've got to tell you about, which is that for 2018 there will now be a new event happening the day before the normal Eroica rides on the Sunday, so on the Saturday, and this is going to be called the Eroica Nova. Now the key thing here is that in this event you'll be able to ride a non-retro modern bike if you wish, if you want to. You don't have to, but you can do. And the thinking is that there's lots of people who see all the fun and atmosphere and great time happening at Eroica and want to be part of it, but are put off by the barrier of not owning a retro bike. So this is a good sort of entry for them into it. But having said that, there are loads of companies out there that do offer retro bike hire if you don't own one, like I don't. So thanks to Vintage Bike Shed, I should point out, for lending me the bike that I used in this video. So on to the bit you've all been waiting for, competition time. Now thanks for all the comments on last week's vlog. It certainly got opinions raging, and it was good to see lots of sort of debate happening, but also a good amount of sort of education in the comments as well. And I said I would have a mystery prize, and I'm a man of my word, so I do. So the prize is going to be this, my organic spirulina powder that tastes like soil. No, it's not really, that's not the only prize. I've also got some Tour yellow socks from Tour magazine, and I mean, this is the best bit, coveted Cycling Weekly jersey. Yeah. So the winner of this exciting soil flavoured prize is John Burnell, who's a regular commenter, and he wrote that my wife's a veggie and is trying to go vegan, so naturally my meat intake has cut back drastically. I wouldn't class myself as a vegan, but 90% of my meals are. I don't miss meat as much as I thought, and my cholesterol has gone down. However, I do still eat cheese and tuna as I love them. My advice is don't go cold turkey, cut back slowly, and you'll soon find that it's not that difficult. I think that's really good advice for someone who's considering going vegan. You know, sort of try and do it as a more gradual process, and it's good to see that, you know, people are open-minded towards it. So, for next week's prize, what do you got? That's my Al Pacino impression. We've got some really cool prizes courtesy of Eroica Britannia. We've got a casquette, a really nice retro Santini Eroica Britannia jersey, really good quality Eroica musette, and a badge as well. So being with a chance to win those cool prizes, then all you have to do is subscribe to the Cycling Weekly YouTube channel and comment below telling me what your first ever bike was. I want to know, so let us know, and until next time, I'll see you next Monday. Cheers.